Welcome to another episode of the Man Lucrative Podcast. I am the host, the one only Magneo 7 in the building. I'm here, y'all. I'm here. This is episode 190. We almost hit 200. We almost there. This episode is brought to you by which one I want to pick today. I got mad sponsors. All right, this episode is brought to you by PHENYX Audio. If you need a microphone, you need in-ears in your space, where you got a club, you got a church, whatever you got, just go ahead to PHENYX Audio. Tell them Magneto7 sent you. If you're looking at this on YouTube, use promo code Lucrative Music right down there. All right, but let's get some shout outs right quick. Oh, man. Y'all just saw me do an ad for another company. That's what I was like, which one I'm going to pick? But anyway, Mark Tucker, what's up? King, what's poppin'? Bro? Proud Red Wino, is that your name? What up? Yo, Dessa, I think that's your name. I think. What's up? Sniper, you down? What's poppin'? Yo, see, what up? Rashawn, what's up? And I see everybody as they come in. So I'm gonna try to shout y'all out as soon as I see y'all. Let's go over to IG for a second. Oh man, Pastor Savage said, "Sheesh, I'm an Arabic coffee shop." Oh, you're at an Arabic coffee shop? Okay, dope. Pastor Savage was popping, and I saw one other person over there. I don't see names. If y'all don't say nothing, I don't see you. If y'all don't say nothing, I don't see y'all. But everybody on Twitch. Who else we got over here? Twitch, YouTube, Facebook, and that's all. That's over there. But what's up? Good morning. So this is the thing. You said, "What up, though?" That's Detroit. I know that Detroit. Yo, I'm gonna get over my Detroit fears at some point in my life. I will get over my Detroit fears. When I went to Detroit last, and I'm talking to MB over on TikTok. Last time I went to Detroit, I was robbed. I feel like I need the sound pad right there. Ding, 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 ding. Yo, they robbed the mess out of me. But yeah, when I went to why did we do that? Why are we doing that? But when I went to Detroit last, I was robbed. Yes, they took everything out of my rental car. I had nothing. When I came back to Georgia. I had car keys and I had a cell phone. That's it. They took my laptop. They took my everything. They literally took everything when I was in Detroit. But anyway, for that reason, I will not be in Detroit. I won't be going to Detroit no more time. No, I'm done. If it's changed, y'all let me know. If any of my Detroit audience, because I know I got a few of y'all up there, y'all let me know what's changed about the city. Because I'm just like, no, it's a no. What up, Big Reg? I just say, what up? So I ain't gonna front. I don't have a long show for y'all today. I got a few little wrap ups from last weekend, some awkward moments that came up, and I just want to know if y'all have experienced the same thing. I want to know if y'all experienced the same thing. So, shouts out to the Greater Church family. Yep. But we had an outing last week. We went over to the bowling alley. I won't say the name of the bowling alley because this is not an ad or a promo, but it's little small things, especially when you're a podcaster, especially when you go live consistently and when you just take notice of detail. I was just looking like, okay, first off, I like to be at home. I like to stay at the house most of the time, but I like to get out, experience people. I'm a big people's person. I like to communicate, right? So we at the Greater Church family went over to have like an outing, right? And I just noticed a few things. So y'all know how you go to a bowling alley and you have two parts to one area. You got to figure out what's going on. Give me 1 second, y'all. Give me a second. Because I got some feedback. All right, there we go. Jeez, I don't know why I did that. But anyway, you got two parts to one area, right? You got the bowling lanes right here. There's like one lane right there, one lane right there. Then you got this little middle kiosk. Why is the middle kiosk in between two lanes? Because for me, it gives you the hint that you should be renting out both lanes at one time. If you got a party, you should be renting out both lanes. But what happens when it's just you and one other person. That's what happened this last week. So again, it was me and the praise team members, the band, all of us was on this one particular lane. But it's like 5 to 8 of us. It's like 5 to 8 of us on this one lane. All right. Well, on the other lane, it was just empty. It was just a chill lane. Nobody was over there. It was just yeah, I need another sound pad. Just sitting all there alone, chill, not lit up. Nobody's there. And then I won't say a couple because we were joking on them. I'm not gonna say it's a couple. It was a party. We'll just say that it was a party of two that rented out the lane that was right beside us. Well, the thing is, in this one section, our whole party took up the whole section, which would technically mean we're accounting for both lanes. Technically, hopefully y'all follow me. Hopefully y'all follow me. But anyway, we're bowling. Well, they're bowling. I was just spectating. I didn't bowl at all. But bowling. And then it's like two little white boys come up and they're starting to look at us. And I'm looking like this. And I'm like, what are they doing? What are they doing? What are they doing? They rented out the lane that's right beside us, but they had to sit in the seating area with us. So imagine how awkward it had to be for them two just to sit in our one area. But anyway, nobody judged. Everybody was like, oh, yeah, welcome, welcome. But I was just thinking, yo, the bowling alleys have to figure out a better way to do certain things. Like, another way to segment, maybe each lane should have a kiosk instead of one kiosk per 2 lanes. Maybe it should be like one lane right here. Just little small stuff I examine. Just little small stuff. But I had a good time. I realized that I was getting old um around 2:30 in the afternoon on a Sunday. I was like, I don't like this. I like people, but I don't like being out and feel like I have to give energy. Like I'm a big energy person, but I don't like to feel like I have to give energy. I don't know if y'all get Derek said, bruh, I thought the same thing one time before. And that's what I'm saying. It's just weird. It was awkward. It was an awkward moment. And I was just like, I felt bad for them because I was like, yo, y'all can come over here and play with us if you like the little kids. Y'all come play with us if you want to. It's fine. Like, it's just y'all too. Like, y'all can't be having that much fun. But anyway, today's show, we talked about a lot of real estate last week, and I see that y'all enjoyed that show. So I am gonna bring a little bit more of that type of content this week. But we tapped in on the tariffs. I don't want to really go too much on the tariffs as much as I do just mindset, right? I have a lot of investments and a lot of friends that's in the space of real estate and capital funds, right? Those people have been looking at the market like, yes, sir. Let's do it. And they have been buying up the house this week. I know a lot of us have been, especially if you got Robinhood. I got Robinhood app. I got a few other platforms that I use to invest in. But if you got the Robinhood app, turn notifications off, dog. Just turn them off. Just turn them off. Cause look, every day this week, the Robinhood app, and I got mad stocks that I've invested in. Like I bought pieces of this, maybe pieces of Tesla, pieces of Google, I got real estate trust, like REITs for like Walmart, Home Depot, and a few other companies that I've invested in where they'll pay us out a dividend per quarter or per month, whatever their pay schedule is. But for those, I was like, okay, we getting a little bit of money this week. But for the other ones, Lord Jesus, them joints has been like, you have dropped 30%. You have dropped 40. I was like, yep, nope. So my advice to everybody that's using Robinhood and any other platform that gives you notifications when the stock prices are dropping, and if you are a person that's not in it for the long haul, you do want to pay attention to it. But if you're a long-term investor, I am a long-term investor. If you're a long-term investor and you're looking for growth over time, just turn the notifications off. Like it's not worth it. It's the mental stress, the mental stress that it puts on you from seeing all of the stock prices just drop. You don't want that. You don't want that. You don't want that. But anyway, let's get to some content right quick. So this first content creator that I'm about to bring to the stage, he had a piece of content that I thought it was pretty cool, because this is something that I've been talking about for a while, especially when it comes to real estate and how we should look at buying houses, right? My first initial thought, and let me stretch the screen out. But I don't know how many people has been following me since 2000. Whoever were my early Mad Lucrative followers, from like 2001, 2002, like I mean not 2001, but 2021, 2022. All of y'all we've been having this conversation consistently. I think now it's starting to hit home for a lot of people, but honestly, I don't think that we should shy away from buying real estate as much as we should focus on just building income and building good credit and building up just a good track record of, all right, I need this money for this. I need this money for this, and allocate all of your monies. I've been I've been talking to my 9 to 6 year old too long. But if you allocate all of the money, the extra money that you have left over to some type of investment and don't just let it sit in the account, then you can start growing it, right? And at least start getting towards the direction of, all right, I can now afford a nice down payment for a house. Um, there are a lot of people, and everybody that's paying rent. This is no shade to nobody. I'm just making sure I put that out there because I paid rent for years. But I think we always miss the idea of real estate and how we could use it. I think we're missing the idea of real estate and how we could use it. I'll use me for an example, and then I'm gonna bring him to the stage. But when it came to me in real estate, my first move out of the house, out of my grandmother's house or grandmother and grandfather's house, the first piece of freedom I'll say I had was dorm room living. I moved to A&T. I went to A&T. Shouts out to Aggie Pride. I class of 2002 and 2003. I had to come back. I had to come back for one class. But that was the first taste of freedom, the first taste of living out on your own. And still, even in that, that's dorm room living. You don't really experience the idea of paying bills, paying water bills, paying your power bill. Like you don't experience all that until you move into an apartment or you move into your piece of property. For me, I moved from dorm room back to my grandparents' house, from my grandparents' house to owning my first piece of real estate, which was a condo. Um, I don't know. I don't think we covered this last week, but we can talk a little bit about it today. When it comes to owning a condo, and I have to preface all of this with a grain of salt because my first condo I did lose. I foreclosed on that joint. I'm gonna tell you why. So I don't know if y'all realize that condo HOA and HOAs for houses is completely different. A condo HOA can foreclose on your property, because they still maintain a certain amount of ownership in your property. They own the actual building. You just own the unit. Hopefully, I'm not talking over nobody's head. So, for me, what I was doing was I had my mortgage with back in the day it was called Wachovia. Now we call it Wells Fargo. But I had my mortgage with Wachovia. What happened? I had a leak in my secondary bedroom because it was my condo had 2 bedrooms, 2 baths, nice little kitchen, nice little living room area, right? It was a leak coming from the ceiling in my guest bedroom. So I said, well, look, I'm not going to pay HOA fees until you come over here and fix my roof. I'm not, because I don't own the roof. Y'all own the roof. I own the inside. What's it's called the dwelling, the dwelling area inside, right? So what I was doing, I was still paying the mortgage to Arcovia because I thought I was like, all right, well, shoot, they can't do nothing because I'm paying the mortgage. On the contrary, sir. the, the townhome, well, the condo community said, all right, well, what we gonna do? We gonna issue you a lien on the property first. So they issued the lien on the property. I still was smirking. I'm like, y'all can't do nothing because I'm paying the mortgage. I'm paying the mortgage. And this is the thing. We had a clubhouse, we had a swimming pool, and all of that stuff. But what I did not know, and this is some stuff that y'all have to look into. Anybody that's considering buying a condo, hopefully I'm giving y'all all the horror stories so y'all can kind of move accordingly. So what I was doing is I was paying the mortgage, but not paying the HOA fees. Well, from me not doing that, and from them owning a piece of the owning a piece of my property, now they had the right to kick me out. Now they had the right to file paperwork with the state, right? So lo and behold, I get a sheriff to come up to my door and say, "All right, you got to vacate the premises." Right? Now, I was getting paperwork along the way, and this whole process was maybe for about 6 months. This is about a 6 months, maybe a year, maybe almost a year process, right? But I was paying the lawyers because for me, I was thinking like this. Well, if I'm not paying this HOA fee and y'all are not fixing my roof, it's a wash. It's just like you ask somebody to hold $50, right? And you give them the $50. Well, they give the $50 right back. Nobody lost no money, nobody gained no money. It's all the same. No, that's not how HOAs work. So I went through that whole process. I went through that whole process. And then I found out when you own a condo, now you cannot go in and rent the condo out. Cause I know a lot of people say, well, nah, bro, what you should have did is you just rented it. No, so what condos do, and I think all of the newer communities are gonna start doing this too, since we now have um what is it called? Airbnb. When I had my condo, there was no such thing as Airbnb. We talking about '08, '07, '08, right? There was no such thing as Airbnb. All right. So I was like, okay, is what we're gonna do is I'm going to go to court. And as soon as I go to court, they're gonna be like, all right, you win, Mr. Crawford, you win because they did not fix your roof. And you're right. You win, you got it. No, no. So the whole process for doing that was a good year or two. Now, fast forward. Now, since we have Airbnb, we have all of the secondary companies that allow you to sublease your building out or your house or your condo. Now they have different laws set into place where you can't have but a certain amount of people owning and a certain amount of people renting an area. A certain amount of people have to own it and a certain amount of people have to rent it. I'm gonna say it's like maybe you can have 70% owners in a townhome community or a condo community, like 70. And I might be off of my numbers. So Reg, I don't know if Reg is still in the chat. You can fact check me. But you can only have maybe 70% owners and 30% renters. So if you bought a condo with the intentions on renting it out, but you never told your agent that, there's a strong possibility that that particular community won't let you rent that house out or they won't let you rent that condo out. It's a wash. So now you stuck because most people don't want to buy a condo with all of those contingencies that's attached to it. All right. So now hopefully I help y'all out with the condo side of things. Now let's let my boy talk to y'all a little bit about the real estate because this is something I've been talking about. I've been talking about this for a minute and now we're here. But let's see if we can pull his name is James Cooper Jr. James Cooper Jr. is the name of this content creator.
Into 2025 and somehow this housing market has managed to get even worse. Let me paint a picture for you. I'm newly engaged, my fiance and I make 6 figures and we are considering a home just like this. Fenced in backyard, we could have all the guest room for people to come and stay with us. We could get a dog, we could start our family here and even retire here. But then something happened. This home sold for $490,000. And you may be thinking to yourself, well, that's not so bad, but let me show you. This home here that sold for $490,000 today sold for $280,000.
Everybody on TikTok, my bad. I'm gonna wrap it up. I'm gonna sum it up for y'all.
$5,000 just 5 years ago with no major upgrades. To really drive things home, this home here that sold today for $490,000 with 6% down and a 6.5% interest rate gives you a payment of $3,294.
All right, so this is what my boy is saying. He's saying he went in to go to buy a house, right? Him and his fiance, they're looking at buying a house. Right now in 2025, that a house that he was looking at is now $490,000 in 2025. It's $490,000 with a 6% down, 6% down, and the actual the interest rate per month, like what he's paying for mortgage, is going to be 6.5%. 6.5%. Now, that mortgage on this particular house is $3,294. $3,294. And the house is 490. Now he's going to give you a comparable of the same house in 2020.
In 2020, with a $285,000 sale price, 6% down, and a 3.5% rate, gives you a payment of $1,457.
All right, so now he did the comparable. In 2020, the same exact house was $285,000. $285,000 in 2020. Interest, the down payment was still 6%, but now the interest rate, and this is why I kept saying this was probably, geez, I'm gonna say 2020, 2020. We went back and forth with this stuff about 2 years, y'all. Honestly, we went back and forth about 2 years. So in 2020, I kept telling all of my friends, I was like, yo, if you're trying to get a house, what's poppin'? What's poppin'? I said, if you're trying to get a house in 2020, 2021, make sure you go ahead and get that joint now. I said, I don't care where you got to find the money. Go get the money and get the down payment, because what's going to happen is if the interest rate shoots up, if the interest rate shoots up, which it has now, I said you're going to be paying double. You're going to be paying not only double for the house, but you're going to be paying double monthly. So the monthly mortgage on the same house that was 1,400 is now 3,000. Same house, and he said very bare minimum upgrades. Let him talk some more.
People that afford this home today make $200,000 a year, when the couple that sold this home only needed to make $95,000
Okay, all right, cool. So now got another comparable. In 2020, the same house that was 285 that you could pay 1,400 a month for, to qualify to get that house, you had to make a joint income. We talking about like a husband and a wife, boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever you got. You had to make consecutively, altogether, $95,000. 95,000. Same house. The exact same house. Now you got to make $200,000. $200,000. That means she got to make 100,000 and you got to make 100,000.
To afford this house when they bought it in 2020. Now, those same two teachers or that one person with an income couldn't even come close to affording that home. That's the problem that I have. So I will eventually adjust my expectations, but I shouldn't have to, and that's the issue. Let me know what your thoughts are.
All right, so I like his content. I like his content. But that brings me to a whole nother topic when it comes to real estate. What do we expect? What do we expect out of a house? Are we at the point where we expect for everybody to have like granite countertops? Is granite countertops the standard? Is granite countertops the standard, or is linoleum still a standard? Because I'm thinking about back in the day, right? Let's talk about like the 80s and the 70s. All right, back then, a lot of folk did not have no granite countertops in their house. Middle class, they probably had the linoleum countertop. They probably had the linoleum floors, and very bare minimum things. But now, current day, everybody's expecting granite countertops. If they're not expecting granite countertops, are they expecting um a butcher block? Like what are we thinking about? And I'm looking at the chat too. I'm looking at the chat. Let me see. AR Prodigy says Inspire AR. Okay, dope. Send your email to upgrade the meaning. Upgrade the meaning at gmail.com. Upgrade the meaning at gmail.com. I have a whole team just for that stuff. All right. So all right. So you do think granite countertops, butcher block is cool, but granite is definitely the go-to now. All right. So now do y'all know how much this stuff costs? Because if you're doing a property, right? No problem. If you're doing a property, you're doing a flip on a house, right? People people are going to go in and say, okay, based off of the neighborhood, based off of my finance, I could afford dot dot dot. And then you, the flipper, or you, the real estate agent, or you, whoever is working the property, you have to get them the house based off of what they can afford, not technically what they want. So I'm It's so many flaws that's going on. I don't think that I don't think that real estate is properly priced personally. I don't think it's properly priced based off of the area and based off of the school systems. Because if I were to look in my particular area, right, and I love where I stay. Where I stay is pretty cool. But if I were to look in my area and I look at, let's say, the five elementary schools, the five middle schools, and the five high schools is in this area, it's no reason why all of the houses per my area, what up, what up? There's no reason why all of the houses in my area should be 500,000 and up. I can't justify a 500,000 house and up if the average school system is delivering proper is poorly delivering education for the kids in the area. Then I also look at the cleanliness of the area. Then I also look at the shopping centers and how many options do you actually have in the 3 mile radius of the property. I'm looking at all that stuff when it comes to how much we're paying. How much we're paying. I'm looking at all of that stuff. Reviews. I just told Prodigy, look at upgrade the meaning. Upgrade the meaning at gmail.com. And we do music reviews on Monday nights. Monday nights. Um, let's see. Say, bro, I did buy a property in 2020. I'm so glad we got in at three. Yo, you got a 3% interest rate. Okay, Big D. You got 3% interest rate. I love that. Okay. Now this is something else. I wanted to talk about the whole idea of the TikTok ban, right? Y'all do realize I don't think that there'll ever be a TikTok ban. I think the deal has already been made. Honestly, I think what we're getting in media with the TikTok ban, I think that is the deal been was made back in November. That's my thoughts. That's my thoughts because it says big. I'm gonna say the Don. Y'all know who I'm talking about when I say the Don. The Don extended the TikTok ban for another 75 days with his staff working on a deal to save the app. It's so many issues I got with this. I can't talk about half of them because this it'll get into conspiracy lane. But when it comes to TikTok and when it comes to any of the other apps, all of this stuff is privately owned, right? Why are we going to another country trying to buy a particular app from that country? That don't sound weird to y'all? Like this isn't we're this like okay, this like the US going overseas and saying, look, we'll be willing to sell you Facebook, or we'll be willing to sell you Instagram. That's weird. Us over here all know that Zuckerberg owns both of those. He owns Meta. Right now it is publicly traded, so I know there's a lot of other things that comes along with that, but this is weird. This is weird for a country to own an app. It's something different. I'll say that. The data mining that's going on and the information that we're selling to people for free. How you sell stuff to people for free? Y'all not selling, y'all giving it away. We're giving away information for free. Yeah, mm-mm, mm-mm. I don't trust none of it. I don't trust none of it. Uh, I did have a few points that I wanted to bring out. Everybody has seen my boy that's poured the water in the bucket and put his face in it. Yep. Yeah, he's hard. He's hard. Ashton. What he's done for Saratoga was amazing. I did me a little Saratoga video too, so I can't talk but so much. But this is what I want all y'all to see. This is some stuff I want y'all to see. And y'all know I'm gonna always try to go back to the money. Wherever the money leads to, and whatever we might be overlooking, I want to bring that to the stage because I keep saying it over and over. The content creators are the people that have the power to move brands. The content creators are the people that have the ability to shine a spotlight on a particular brand and just blow that joint up. And I don't think we realize the power that's in that little component alone. Because when I think the dude's name is Ashton, but when he poured the water, I'm talking about the diesel dude that did the water, like the ridiculous morning routine. Like I was like, all right, you're doing a lot of stuff before 7 o'clock, and like a lot of stuff is just like, do you got to do it? But content's content, right? Content's content. When I look at what he was doing for Saratoga, because that's the first thing I noticed. I didn't really pay attention to his morning routine as much as I did the different brands and the different products that he was putting in each video. All right. So he poured a water bottle in it. We all saw it was Saratoga. The first thing I went to say, I said, what's Saratoga's following look like on IG? And what's Saratoga's like? Who owns it? Who owns it? Again, I'm gonna always go back to the money. So let's look at this. I don't even think y'all realize this. It's something called Bluetron, Blue Trillion. Let me pull it up. But this is the company that owns Saratoga, and the point that I want to bring out is we are getting people hot for free. We are giving people the sauce for the free. Because if he had not done that video for Saratoga, it would have just been a upscale brand that we all see in some of the clubs, some of the brunch spots, right? I've drunk it before he did it, before he poured it in the bowl. I drank it before that. Is that and there's a few other ones. I ain't gonna say their names, but this is the company that owns Saratoga, right? Notice the year, bam, 1842. Guess what? It is privately owned. Roughly, they got 7,000 employees right now. All right. So now this is what I look at. Formerly known as Nestle Water. Conquer and divide. Conquer and divide. Formerly known as Nestle Water. So they've been in this business, right? Now, when Ashton went and did that video and got the whole brand hot, I went to where is it? I think I went to Publix. I went to Publix to get me 2 bottles of the Saratoga so I can make a video, like just a beat making video out of it. And I noticed this particular trip was a little bit different, right? I'm looking on the shelf and y'all can see the numbers, and now I would go into how much they're worth. I'm not gonna do all that today. But I looked at the shelf, looked at the Saratoga. I said, okay, based off of this, he made them hot. He made them hotter, rather, because we all drunk it, but now social media has gravitated towards it. I pray to God that he got a check off of that. I pray to God he got it because when I looked on the shelf, the Saratoga was gone. It was probably I had to hunt for the 2 bottles that I got. The rest of them they had the plastic bottles. But we all know if you're drinking the plastic, it ain't the real joint. You gotta have the glass. You gotta have the glass. But I looked at the shelves and I was just like, yo, this dude that made Saratoga hot. Like, how much he get? How much he get? So, social media influencers, anybody that's looking to work your socials, this is exhibit A of how to get a brand hot. And if you want to do that, cool. But make sure you have an out strategy. Make sure you have an exit strategy. Make sure you have an offer because I think he's grown by like 11 million followers or something like that. This is what I would have done. And maybe he has a PR company, maybe he has a team of people that's helping him with this. Hopefully it does. If he doesn't, yo, just take the sauce. Please take the sauce. What he should have done is had Saratoga on the line and almost made them a bet. He should have almost made them a bet. Look, I'm about to put this piece of content out. I think it's gonna go crazy because based off of me and my team, like it's looking good right now. And even if he had no clue, right? Even if he had no clue that the video was gonna work, as soon as he posted it, and if any of the platforms like Shade Room picked it up, or Baller Alert, or any of the tabloidy platforms, if they would have picked this video up, I would have put a bet on the line for Saratoga and said, look, if this video does 1 million, no, if this video does 5 million streams, 5 million views in a certain amount of time, I would like to go talk to the CEO, or I'd like to talk to the district manager or the regional manager about some type of deal, and I come to the Saratoga factory, and I do an interview with y'all, and with that interview, I tell y'all how much the water has helped me with controlling my curves, yeah, my sweet tooth when I want some soda. And instead of drinking the soda, I'm gonna drink the Saratoga, and I'm gonna just big y'all up in this video because now you put another spotlight on their company that boosted their stock up. That's going to boost their sales. Now, the least you could do is start to posture yourself or position yourself to say, all right, now I got Saratoga on the line. Now we're going to do a brand deal. Now I could go out and get some more companies to do something with me. Right? Because this is what I'm looking at it. Again, we always make other brands hot. How long we going to do that? When, what was it? What was it? What was the name of the app? It was like a chat. It was like a chat, and I think it still exists. But where you just go in and it's like a what is it? It's like a Zoom call with all audio. It's just audio. I can't remember the name of the app. But if we made that app hot and they ain't pay us nothing, what are we doing? We're giving away the sauce consistently. I can't remember the app. I can't remember the name of the app. All right, I gotta start wrapping up because I got a few calls to make too. All right, so this is I wanted to wrap up with a few words based on where we are. This is now April, and we're almost halfway through the year. We're almost halfway through the year. So one thing I wanted to ask the question, because these are questions that I ask myself while I'm either driving in silence or if I'm taking a shower or even if I'm in a workout, if I'm in workout zone. Sometimes I'll listen, a lot of times I'll listen to podcasts and music, but a lot of the times I'm just thinking, like, what's next? Like, what are we doing next? How can I make what I'm doing bigger? How can I expand my brand? How can I do all, like, I'm asking these questions consistently. So one question I wanted y'all to ask yourself for mid-year, almost mid-year, how is your 2025 being right now? How's your 2025? If you could put your 2025 up against 2024, 2023, 2022, against all of that, we're gonna eliminate the pandemic year. Pandemic year don't count. Because everybody was just like, all right, I ain't shaving, ain't but how was your year so far? How was your 2025 this year so far? And then if you don't like what you got, if you're not pleased with the progress that you're making so far, what do you need to do to change? What do you need to do to get some different results? Right? Something that I notice about myself is that I love to get involved with big projects. I love big projects. I don't like small thinkers. I don't like people that talk small, right? I do appreciate logical thinkers and I do appreciate logical conversations, but I think there has to be a certain point in time where you say, okay, I know we only did this amount, but in order for us to hit the $10 million mark, we need to do this. In order for us to get this many more people working on behalf of the Mad Lucrative Network, we need to do this, right? So I'm there. That's where I am. I challenge everybody, take inventory of your group of friends. Take inventory of the different conversations that y'all have been having. And just really think, are these conversations that I'm having right now benefiting me, or are these conversations taking a piece of me away where I don't have anything left for myself at the end? Because this, again, I take a personal inventory consistently. I love innovation, and I love when people can see things from a different perspective. Case in point, I've talked about me doing helping a million musicians make $1 million, right? That's my life's goal, my life goal, right? I want to help a million musicians make $1 million. Well, with that broad statement, I have to put parameters around how we get there. I have to set certain things in place that aligns with that journey. Because this is what I noticed. This is what I noticed. A lot of people will start to do something and they say, well, all right, my dream is to become rich and famous. All right, that's cool, but that's self-absorbed. That's just for you. You want to be rich and famous. All right, cool. How are you going to do that? What are you accomplishing while you're on the road to become rich and famous? Right? Or some people say, well, look, I don't really have too many. I just want what I want out of life, man. Just a little something. I just do good enough. All right, well, cool. What to me, if you ask me what good enough is and you're good enough, it's gonna be two completely different good enoughs, right? So just putting parameters around it. For me, I don't see nowhere in my book is making under 150 to 200,000. And I got a family of four. Well, yeah, me, my two daughters, and my wife. So I got a family of four. Nowhere in my book is 150 to 200 good enough. Like that's good. And it's like, all right, we're doing decent. I can see how you could live, you make a decent living off of that. But when it comes to sustainability and growth, 250 or even 200,000 in the next 10 years is gonna be mad slim. Just like back in the day when if somebody made $100,000 in the 80s, you were doing great. If you made $100,000 in the 80s, you were doing great. Now I just pulled up the guys that's talking about the property. The guy that was talking about the property for a mid property. This ain't even no new build. This ain't the joint with the granite countertops. This ain't the joint that got the swimming pool in the back. This ain't none of that. This is just a basic house. We talking about 495. To get to approve for that house, you got to make at least around 200,000. So this is what I'm saying. Like we got to put some different parameters around what we're looking for. But for me, I'm gonna go back to what I was saying about thinking and being around people that just have a different view of life. For me, I want to help a million musicians make $1 million. All right, how am I gonna do that? I have to set maybe this educational side of it because they got to know, okay, well, after you get a certain amount of money, you might want to invest in this. Okay, well, what does that look like? Oh, real estate. Okay, that's one. All right, cryptocurrency. That's another one. Okay, stocks. Okay, that's another one. Okay, side hustles. That's another one. And just all of the things that I've created as far as my Mad Lucrative brand and the Magneto 7 brand, everything that I've created is centered around getting to that point, right? Whenever you and this I don't know who this is for, but whenever you've come up with the plan and you're the only person that benefits from your plan, it's not enough. It's not a good plan. Whenever you come up with a plan and if you're the only one that benefits from your plan, it's not good enough. You got to get a plan that really resolves issues, right? For me, the reason the sting that lives in my spirit, the big spit, this is like like the bee stings me right there, right? The sting that lives in me is I know what broke feels like. I know what hopeless feels like. I know what it's like to create excuses for not getting to a certain level. I also know what it's like for people to overlook your value. Um, the reason they will overlook your value is because you don't believe your value is what it is in the first place. So a lot of people in reciprocal energy starts within. I don't know if anybody's ever thought about it like that. Reciprocal energy starts within. Case in point, I know when I did the 30 for 30, everybody's wanting the 30 for 30. I'll talk about it for a second before I wrap it up. But everybody that did the 30 for 30 in March. I kept driving the point home. Uh the accountability is really how you start building a real good rapport with yourself. Accountability. For me, I was 285 pounds at the biggest, right? And I'm only about 5'9", 5'8", right? If I got the high shoes on, I'm 5'9". If I got the high shoes on, I'm 5'9". But what I noticed was the more I would keep a close watch on what I'm eating, the more I would keep a close watch on movement and not just be sitting in the studio all day. Um, a conscious effort to drink more water, like just the basic stuff. This is stuff that everybody knows, right? But very few people do it. But we all know if you eat less food and you drink more water, you're probably gonna lose some weight, right? Or at least maintain what you got. So those small foundational elements to losing weight and the small foundational elements that it takes to acquire wealth, it's the principle is all the same. The principle is the same. It's accountability, right? If you say you're gonna do this, go ahead and do it and make sure you hold yourself accountable. Now, when you get to the point where you did the thing for a certain amount of time, for me, it's 30 days and 30 days and up. For some of y'all, it might be 90 days and up. When you do reach that period, okay, now celebrate. Do a little small celebration. For me, it might be some wings, something basic. I ain't going crazy, right? But for some, it might be a vacation, whatever it is. Celebrate the small wins in between. Now, what you're gonna do is you're gonna notice the endorphin hit that you start to get from holding yourself accountable and delivering consistently. Now that's gonna spew. That idea is gonna spew from here to Hong Kong. It is gonna spew because what's gonna happen is people are gonna say, "Yo, you looking good. Yo, like? What you do?" And you're gonna be like, I ain't do nothing different. Like I'm just. But this is the thing. Everybody realizes when you're growing. Everybody can see it. When you're on a path to get something done, and you're like, all right, no matter what happens, I'm gonna keep delivering. No matter what happens, I'm gonna keep doing this thing. When people notice that, they're gonna be like, okay, all right, you're a real one. You are a real one. So I want to just encourage everybody. My apologies. I want to encourage everybody. Yo, get on a path to accomplish something bigger than yourself. Look for people to be a part of your journey. Look to encourage people. Don't just let everything be about you. I think that will help all of us as a people. And I'm not talking about white or black. I'm talking about just humans. That'll help us all get to the point of, yo, I'm achieving this and I'm bringing you with me because I see a gift inside of you. It's a gift that's there, and I want to help you get there. Right. Um, Let me see. I did have a question. I had a question. Oh yeah, the 30 for 30. All right. That's what I was gonna say. And I gotta start wrapping it up. All right. So as far as the 30 for 30 goes, everybody that took the 30 for 30 in March, everybody that paid for the 30 for 30 in March, I will be getting the videos out to y'all, or the videos. I'll be getting the videos out to y'all this week. All right, look for them by Thursday. And for everybody that's watching this on playback, what the 30 for 30 was it is a 30-day challenge where I'm getting people to post on the social media pages every day for 30 days. Every day for 30 days, reach out to 30 people every day. Whether that's email, whether that's DMs, whatever that is, reach out to 30 people every day. Now, along with each day, I was covering different points, right? And I might have to pull it up so I can understand, or so I can remember, because I've done a lot of living since last month. I've done a whole lot of stuff since last month. So let me pull it up right quick and I'll just do a quick recap. So that was day. I could do it. I could do it like that. I could do it like that. All right. So again, the foundational elements to the 30 for 30, post every day for 30 days, reach out to 30 people. Right. But when I created this back in 2023, when I created this, I noticed that a lot of people had more questions. Originally, this was called the 30-day social media jumpstart. That's what it was called in 2023, 2024. A lot of people would send me questions about, branding and how does my logos look? What type of tools should I use to create my platform? How can I sell my stuff? How can I automate my stuff? So I said, okay, y'all got a lot of questions. And a lot of these questions were the same questions on repeat. It was just the same question over and over. So I said, what we could do is I'm going to create something called the 30-day social media challenge. Right now, within the 30-day social media challenge, what I did all last month, I was checking in every day. And this was for my early adapters, for everybody that's after the fact. Y'all still have the ability to send me questions and run any of the business strategies by me because all of my stuff is in the PDF. But just to give y'all a quick rundown of what we covered for the 30 days. The first day was defining your unique brand, what makes you stand out. Like, what makes you stand out? Do you have a quirky laugh? Do you have like a lot of freckles on your face? Are you super thick? Are you super skinny? Like, whatever makes you stand out, let's use that to bring people over to your platform, right? And again, I think we overlook our imperfections, and we think that it's just an imperfection that I need to fix. Some of the stuff that's an imperfection people like. Some people like the stuff that's wrong with us. So I say lean into it. When I'm coaching people and I'm building their brands, lean into it. Let's lean into that. Don't try to fix it. Lean into it. All right. Number two, day two, it was creating a strong artist bio. Creating a strong artist bio. For me, anytime I'm creating a bio or I'm creating some type of pitch for artists, I like for them to tell their story. What makes you or not what makes you. What was the worst part of your life so far? What was the worst part of your life, and what was the biggest win that you've accomplished so far? Right? Because wins and ups and downs and all that stuff, it changes. All this stuff changes over time. So for me, it was losing the house, right? Losing my first condo, right? The biggest win at the time was winning the Grammy, right? And I worked through the emotions of, okay, this is how I felt when I got this. This is how I felt when I lost this. And then when it comes to the business, you sandwich your business in the middle. Now people have something to kind of gauge you off of. And I like to get people to be able to tell that pitch within a minute 30 seconds. A minute 30 seconds, you should be able to tell your artist bio. You shouldn't be running around saying, oh, well, back in 75, my older heads. Back in 75, I did this, and my little sister did this, and I fell off the porch. She said, oh, why you fall off the porch? Now, so all of that conversation is just word salad. That means nothing for nobody. That's not telling them nothing about your life. Make it real quick, distinct. All right. That was day two, though. That was just day two. Day three, I helped them with brand and aesthetics. Brand aesthetics. What type of fonts do your brand consist of? Day four, what social media platforms work best for you? What content works best for you? Day five, optimizing your pages. And I went through how to read your engagement and how to start growing your engagement. And I went through all this stuff. But anyway, I don't want to bore you. It's 30 days. It's 30 days of coaching. It's 30 days of insight. It's 30 days of just detailed things that you could do to build your brand, right? And originally, this is just something that I would go through with my businesses that make a certain amount of money. But I said a lot of artists might be able to benefit from this. So what I was gonna say is a lot of y'all that did take it in March. Again, everybody that took the 30 for 30 in March, y'all will be getting a zip file of all of the videos. Everybody that's taking this after the fact, I'm having it in modules. So we're probably about 2 weeks out from doing that. We're about 2 weeks out, but as soon as it hits the press, I will be promoting it. I will be putting it out because I know that it helps a lot of people. So 30 for 30. And I do still have some of the videos up on YouTube if you just want to watch the videos. It's called the 30 for 30 social media challenge. It's a red and white logo, and it's me like this. It's me just smile like that. All right. Uh I don't think we have anything else. Do we have anything else? Oh yeah, last but not least, if you are a brand that's in Georgia, if you're a brand that's in Atlanta, Georgia, Decatur, anywhere in the metro area, even if you're in another state and you want to promote your business on our stage play, um, send the email to Drofar Media. I will put it below. But it's Crawford backwards, right? Crawford backwards. Send an email there and say you're interested in sponsoring the Mom's Musical. What the Mom's Musical is, it's a stage play that my wife wrote. Of course, I scored the music for it. It's all original music, and this is going to be a full weekend of pampering for women. We're going to be pampering the women. We're going to be showing them love. We're going to be, hopefully, we could get more vendors to do like the massages and the drinks and all that stuff. But in addition to that, it's the stage play. Now, the stage play is about an hour and a half, 2 hours long, something like that. And It's just the journey of motherhood. We go through the journey of motherhood. This would really be good for all of my new moms. If you are currently pregnant and you don't know what motherhood is like just yet, you want to come to this stage play. If you're an older mom, right? The older mom that you've raised all your kids out of the house. This is good. This is a good stage play just to reminisce about some of the times that you've experienced with your kids, right? But it's a really good, really, really good stage play. If you do want to come, I will have the tickets in the link in the bio. If you watch this on YouTube, the tickets will be in the description. It is going to be Mother's Day weekend, and we rented the venues, dope venue. But again, right now we're looking for. Well, I'm personally looking for um, women-owned businesses. All my fellas, I'm gonna show love to y'all 24/7. Y'all are the majority of my fan base, but right now, I think it's important. I think it's important for other women to see successful women and balance successful women. I have to change that. I think it's important for other women to see other successful women because I do think that for a certain amount of time, the shadow has been over women-owned businesses, and they felt like they had to do certain things, right? I'll just say it like that. They felt like they had to do certain things to compete in the area of entrepreneurship. Well, I think when you got people like my wife and a few other women that's a part of this stage play, you'll see excellence. Women that are balanced in excellence. Because I think all of them, except for maybe a few of them ain't married, but a lot of them are married. It's important to see that, man. I think it's important. We've been in such a weird space with relationships, and I don't really mess with women. I don't really mess with marriage. I don't really the idea of all we're in a weird space. So I really want to be one of the guys to just shine light on the women that's doing it right. Right? The women is doing it right. I do think that some of the stuff is some of the stuff that's going on in social media when it comes to black women specifically has been has been nasty work. I think personally, I have personally come across way more black women that have common sense than I have in a minute. Like what's being presented on social media is like a skewed point of view. That's like the bottom of the barrel black woman. What's being presented is like the bottom of the barrel. That's not real life for me. For me. Now, this is the thing. Maybe that doesn't exist for me because I surround myself with high value. I don't say high value because now we start to think about money. It's not money. It's a mindset. I've chosen to surround myself with people that just got good sense and that just sees things from a healthy point of view. Like even the idea of marriage, I'm not gonna say the person's name, but it's just a lot of the dudes are not approaching women a certain way, and I got a dating show to fix some of this. So we're gonna see how it works. But the idea of communicating on a higher level, I think has been lost. And we gotta find it. We gotta find it. We gotta bring it back. Because right now it's just I see a generation of weird kids that's not gonna attempt to pursue genuine relationships, and all of the relationships that they pursue is going to be what can I get out of this. And it's not just for the women. I'm talking about some of the dudes too, because a lot of y'all be sending me, yeah, I ain't gonna say y'all names, but a lot of dudes be sending me like random DMs about listening to music, and then I'm looking at how many times they've shown up to a live. Showing up to a live is free, even if you don't come up for about 5 minutes. Showing up to a live is free, right? So showing somebody support in their stories and post a video, that's free, right? A lot of stuff is free. So we got to really start to put things into perspective. We got to put things into perspective because we got some weird stuff going on. But anyway, I enjoy bringing this show to y'all. I enjoy bringing this to y'all. Uh, I will see y'all next week. All right. Peace.